we'll start with Shibtoshi and SquidGrow. So many people just see like memes and think, oh, yeah, there's nothing to this. But Shibtoshi's actually built something really cool with SquidGrow. Like, I'm not a big fan of meme coins, but I wouldn't consider SquidGrow a meme coin. Shibtoshi has built something really cool here. So I want to go into that first. So how's it going, Shibtoshi? How's it going, SquidGrow team? How's it going today?
Hey, buddy. Thank you. Thank you for having us. It's going well. Just getting up, having some coffee, and throwing a dip of Copenhagen in. Ready to get the day going.
Oh, love to hear it. So, do you want to give a little bit of an introduction to like what SquidGrow actually is and what your plans are for the future of this project?
Yeah, sure. I can touch on what we have publicly spoken on. So I refer to SquidGrow as a utility meme token. We launched in June. Those that are following along or those who have not, we are currently building right now. Some of the things that we are very near to putting out publicly is our Ethereum bridge. We're coming to the Ethereum chain. We are building an NFT marketplace to coincide with the 10,000 NFT collection that Mike S. Miller from DC Comics and Marvel Comics have done. And we are also building SGX, which is our own perpetual exchange. And when we debut the Ethereum network, we will also be rolling out SGS, which is our new and revised DEX that you will be able to swap between BSC and Ethereum.
Okay, so that's pretty cool actually. So, in terms of your decks, I presume you'll be having advertisements on your decks to generate revenue. And is this revenue going towards like deflation, development, marketing of SquidGrow?
No, you're actually incorrect. Actually, there will be no at the time of debut. We will not be profiting off of the decks at all. Um, there will be no added fees per transaction, as you see with normal dexes. We are pulling liquidity from PancakeSwap and Uniswap. So again, there are the standard fees that you would pay on those platforms as well. And in the future, if and when we decide to start collecting a listing fee, it is yet to be determined what we will purpose that listing fee for in regards to the project.
Makes total sense. Do you guys have like a revenue model at the minute or anything like that for the future?
Currently, we are not focused on generating revenue. Those that are following along, I pay for all development and marketing of the project. So that revenue will come when we roll out SGX. That is the only plans that we have currently. With the addition of obviously the NFT marketplace, there will be purchasing fees and minting fees, obviously on that platform, and it has yet to be determined what we will do with those fees.
Okay, makes total sense. Obviously, I ask these things because you know how it is when it
Yeah.
comes to crypto. Like, it's always very very good to have your revenue streams. And by revenue streams, I don't necessarily mean like for the team. I mean obviously for like the future of the project, the development, maybe deflation. Um, so that's why I asked those questions. And
Yeah.
it's, I mean, I've been watching from afar. Like, I've seen that you fund literally everything. Like, you really do care about your community. You really care about your project. Then funding certainly isn't an issue for you. So that's why there's, I see why you don't really prioritize revenue right now. Is there anything specifically that you'd like me to touch on? Because like I'm pretty aware of the project. I know you've been working for some time now, and I've just seen you building. Really, I've seen you featured all around, and some people not giving you the credit that's really deserved because people don't understand how hard it is to actually build in a bear market, especially when you launch towards the end of a bull. Like, it isn't easy. You've done a very good job of that.
Yeah. As far as any direction, no, I'll just roll with the punches. Everything's on the table. So whatever you want to throw out at me, we're able and willing to talk about and address. Um, but yeah, it's definitely not a fast process. Obviously, we're focused on security. That's why we do so many audits. I'd like to say our audits have audits. Currently, we are in Surtech audit right now, and just kind of one little final audit before we roll out to E. So we are having all of our contracts audited again, our bridge audited again, and our new staking contracts. And then when they're concluded with that, we will roll our decks over to Surtech to audit as well. So that's kind of where we're at.
Makes total sense. It's definitely essential to have those audits in place. So, what would you say, like as a SquidGrow holder, what can we expect from SquidGrow in 2023 specifically?
Well, for sure, what you can expect is you can expect us going to ETH. You can expect our NFT marketplace and our NFT collection to roll out. Um, Possibility of some partnerships coming down the pipeline at some point. But outside of that, we've not publicly spoken about anything further, so that's kind of where I'm going to leave it. Keep in mind, we do try to live by the motto under promise, over deliver, because obviously there are unforeseen events that occur, when developing things and, talking to other projects and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. Like I'm the same, really. The only things that I put out for the project of my own is things that I'm not really going to rest until it happens. So I fully understand what you're saying there, because one of the biggest problems in the space is projects that just promise the world and 99% of them don't get anywhere near what they say they're going to do, which is it's saddening, really. I've
It
already
is.
noticed, like, I've already done my research on SquidGrow. Like I said, I know you've been around for a while. I've seen you list on like Gate, Bitmart. I've seen you on, I think, MEXC, the Asian exchange big one. I think that's run by Andy Lian.
It's Yep. Yep. We're on a total of, I believe, 12, I think, 12 or 13. It's hard to keep track. We kind of went crazy listing exchanges in the beginning, and we were just trying to make it more accessible for everybody to purchase. We have since kind of slowed down on that and focused more on building our utilities because, again, we did roll out in the market as a meme coin, but the it was never our intentions to just stay limited to that category. As I said, we want to branch out to the utility world. I think that is will have a major impact on the community, and we just kind of want to continue to push it forward and not be limited to one category.
Hey guys, can I add something?
Yeah, of course.
What's up, Travis, Dane, Crypto Blast, Vincent? Good to see you guys, man. Thanks for having us on behind the SquidGrow account right now. But yeah, I just want to point out it's a good question that you asked as far as revenue generation for projects because, like you said, it is kind of sad because projects will come on to the space and they'll promise the world, like you say. And I actually think they believe what they say, and it's nothing personal that they end up failing. It's just because of the lack of funding, plain and simple. And it's an expensive space. Web3 is not Web2, and things are inflated heavily across the board. So it makes it difficult, and it's a very pertinent question you asked as far as revenue generation. Me personally, I think a big thing that will actually support the project as far as that goes will be SGX, the flagship utility that Shibtoshi mentioned, because that I think if you look at something like GMX, for example, that's becoming much more popular because people are wanting to keep their keys safe while they do futures trading. There's a lot of revenue generation that comes from that. And the cool thing with our model is much of that will be going back directly into SquidGrow buys on the chart, as well as liquidity, as well as staking. So that's a pretty exciting thing. I really like. And the other thing too is not to I know Shibtoshi's a pretty humble guy, but I mean he's a top 50 Bitcoin whale, and he's basically a top 10 cheap whale to say the least. That's funding the project directly for many reasons that we don't need to necessarily touch on. But I just want to reiterate that, like, when it comes to funding, we definitely do not have an issue there, and we have the longevity and the good of this project in mind at all times.
I mean, the fact that you listed on quite a few exchanges, like, is an interesting topic to me. Because like, my experience hasn't been fantastic when looking at exchanges myself. So I'm quite interested, obviously, like this sort of space I'm running for builders to connect, really, for people to make connections and expand their networks. So, like, specifically for you, like, what has your experience been with listing on so many exchanges in such a short period of time?
Well, I'll be blunt and honest. There has been some drawbacks from listing on so many exchanges. Obviously, having various liquidity pools opens up the opportunity for extreme arbitrage. And anybody that was around at the time we listed Gate, instead of the initial pump that we were all expecting, we started going backwards relatively quickly. I won't get into, what the project believe for legal reasons, but we think, some of these exchanges definitely take advantage of their positions and, um, damage the charts,
Yeah, it's not all
to say
sunshine
the
and
least.
rainbows. It's definitely not all sunshine and rainbows.
No,
It's like you list on an exchange and you think everything's going to be good, but you need to actually manage that exchange. And
yeah,
there's a huge process that goes on with market makers and making sure that things are stable with liquidity pools and balance, that you're reducing the chances of arbitrage occurring to hurt the chart where the primary liquidity pool is, which in our case is BSC on Pancake Swap. So yeah, there's a balancing act and a lot of careful, meticulous work that goes into making sure that it all stays stable. And I think a lot of people just want to hop on exchanges not knowing those things. So I would advise any projects or listeners out there that look at exchanges as bullish. It's not always the case. When you drop, for instance, like 40K on just like a tier 3 exchange, like projects used to do back in 2021, that was cool for the initial pump. But what followed in the coming months with those projects is most of them capitulated, and that might have been a big factor there had they not managed those exchanges properly.
yeah, it's exchanges are definitely a money pit. Just an example, and I won't go into detail on what the exchange is, but one of our biggest exchanges, I was spending 20K a day in USDT and tokens just battling the floor on that exchange, trying to keep the market cap equal to that of Pancake Swap, and I did that for months. Um, so there's definitely a hidden expense to that as well. Lots and lots of arbitrage, a lot of manipulation going on these exchanges. Tokens essentially just dump out of nowhere on the exchange, driving the price down. Then it's bought up for cheap and arbitrage to the main source of liquidity and sold for profit. I mean, like Dane said, it's not all rainbows. It's definitely one of those things. Um, I will say there's probably some exchanges I would not list on if I could do it over, but what's done is done, and we are brushing it off and moving forward and keeping that in mind, for our future listings and coming to Ethereum. Um, we I'm a crypto investor. I don't pretend to be a dev. I don't pretend to, have all this knowledge about running crypto projects. I run my project through the eyes of an investor, and I do things the way that I think investor would want it to be, the way that I would want it to be. So coming out the gate, obviously, exchange listing is what we were going after, trying to be more obtainable for those people that couldn't really figure out, Pancake Swap and getting BNB and so on and so forth. You can just purchase with a credit card, on an exchange, simple and easy. But there's a big hidden headache to these exchange listings. We did come out hot and heavy. One week I believe we listed 5 or 6 exchanges in a week. And that served its purpose for that time. Obviously, the more exchanges you're on, the more overall volume that is reported to CoinMarketCap, which is then translated to other exchanges for bigger listings, is the idea behind it. And trying to maintain a certain volume level, is not necessarily always easy.
Yeah, makes total sense, and I think that was like a professional answer. Like you can't exactly say what you're not happy with. Like it's just something, unfortunately, in business you can't do publicly.
Yep.
But yeah, fully understanding. It's pretty interesting to get an insight from your perspective with obviously listed on a lot of exchanges early on. It does look. It looks great for your project. I can't lie. It looks great for your project, and obviously it didn't go exactly as you planned, and you've gone above and beyond and way past that now. It's just like when, for example, with my project, people are like, "Oh, when are you going to list on an exchange? When are you going to list on an exchange?" I'm like, you do realize that it's not always a great thing to be doing, to listing on all of these exchanges. Like personally, it's not an avenue that I want to go to. I really want to get the taxes down to Benson said himself, who's here with me, want to get down to 0% tax, and
Yep.
and we can do that without going to an exchange. And I mean, that's sort of a requirement for most exchanges as well. So it's not all sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah, we run tax on a few exchanges, but majority of the big exchanges are zero tax. And then again, and that's why the arbitrage comes in. People can buy for zero tax, which we have relatively little tax. We have 4% buy tax. Our sell tax is a little higher. It's 12%. But then again, when you purchase on PancakeSwap, all of that tax goes to the liquidity. So it's essentially, helping you out as an investor in the long run. Yeah, it kind of sucks in the beginning, but overall, when you see the liquidity start to build and more investors being attracted to that thick liquidity pool, you kind of understand the concept a little better of what we're trying to do here. I didn't want my project to suffer the same that I faced, in my early days of SHIB, with a lack of liquidity. And, so that's why our emphasis and focus is on building our liquidity pools.
Yeah, makes total sense, and I want to say you've done a great job. Obviously, there's no rush to be pushing things out either. Like, I feel that the bear market is certainly the best time to be building your project so that your product is in full motion. By the time the bull market comes back round, like I started this conversation with, people don't realize that they actually make most of their money in the bear market, not in the bull market. They just don't realize it.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, so I really do think that you're doing a great job. I've also, guys, just below the space, I have put the links to all the projects that are on today. So SquidGrow link is there. It would be cool if you did join their Telegram and showed some support. This isn't a sponsored space. We do handpick these projects that drop us DMs that we think are quality, that deserve to be featured with the Crypto Builders panel. We'll be doing this probably 2-3 times every single week. Networking, bringing quality projects up, and these are not sponsored. So hop in the Telegrams. You've got SquidGrow, Vitreous, UBD Network, then my own project, KingPad, King Main Chat. The main chat is simply just, it's the main chat for the entire ecosystem. The KingPad is the launch pad. So yeah, drop an entry to the SquidGrow Telegram. The link is at the top of the space. They are good guys. Does anyone else on the panel want to ask SquidGrow any questions before we move to? We'll go to Vitreous next.
Oh, come on, guys. We don't have any questions for us?
Surely. Benson, Chad, UBD, have any questions for Shibtoshi and SquidGrow?
I'm good, Shibtoshi. Been following for a while now, so honestly, nothing to ask. I'm pretty aware of what you're doing. Pretty well aware of what you're doing. So, yeah, GG, keep going, mate. Keep going. Well done so far.
All right, thank you, guys.
We'll start with Shibtoshi. 5 minutes, my friend. Can you give us a last little review of your project and what we can expect from it?
Sure thing. So what's up, guys? I'm Shibtoshi. I'm a BSC project currently launched in June. We are currently in the process of launching on the Ethereum chain. What you can expect in the near future is us offering Ethereum, our bridge going live, NFT marketplace, 10,000 NFT collection by Marcus Miller of DC Comics. Within that collection, we have 100 ultra rare NFTs. If you mint one of those, you get one of the blue chip NFTs that they are holding, such as Mutant Apes, Doodles, Kennel Clubs, Metaverse Land, Other Side, so on and so forth. We are currently developing SGX. A couple months ago, we put SGX into audit and then realized that there was some undersight on our behalf. There were some features that we wanted to add, so we pulled it from audit. Currently have that going. Also, with debuting the new DEX for the Ethereum chain, our staking contracts will be integrated in that. Currently, we offer native token staking and LP staking. I believe our variable APRs are around 20% on token and around 200% on LP. The APRs on the Ethereum chain will be much higher than that. I will not publicly speak on the numbers, but it will be something very similar to what our APRs were like when we debuted our staking contracts. Dane, you want to take over from here, bud?
I think you pretty much nailed it, man. We have a lot to look forward to. As we mentioned in the beginning, we sort of switched from the marketing machine that we came out of the gate with into the building mindset for the last 6 months, and things are pretty much almost coming into fruition. And there's a lot. We've got a stacked lineup for as soon as we get on ETH, these things start to drop one by one by one. So I think it's going to be very exciting to watch SquidGrow go into its next stage onto ETH and sort of take over that space, which is Shibtoshi's. It's his original spot, right? That's where Shibtoshi is known for being the Shib guy, is over on ETH. Got a lot of connections and familiar faces over there that are just waiting to ape into SquidGrow when we get there. So I think we're going to have a lot of buy pressure upon that ILO, and it's the start of it. It is one thing I want to point out is the ILO. We actually will be doing an initial liquidity offering when we come to ETH, so it will give people a chance to get into the project without having to worry about the whole volatility of a launch. So you'll be able to come in there nice and smooth, and we are offering some incentives for buying on the ILO as far as the numbers go. Shib, I don't know if you want to give those.
Yeah, if you participate in the ILO, we are giving a 5% bonus in dollar value transferred in tokens. And then if you participate in the BSC trade-in for Ethereum tokens, we are giving a 3% bonus as well. And Dane, at your closing, I believe RDub has a couple things he'd like to say as well.
Yeah, thanks, Shib. Hey, Trav, thanks for having us today. And thanks to all the other projects as well. It's nice to hear from some, cool utility projects in the space. But yeah, you kind of hit the nail on the head there earlier, Trav, where you spoke about, Gen Z and kind of not having, in essence, I guess, some of the patience that those old school investors have. And I think that, you're exactly right there as well, because I fit into that category as well. So on that note, I just wanted to say thanks to, I guess, everyone here, but also to all of our investors as well for actually having some patience during this bear market while we do take the time to actually, build all these utilities, because it's been a pretty big, learning process in patience for me as well. It's, not being a dev, you come to realize that these things actually take a whole lot longer than you'd expect. You think that you can, just employ someone and that have an idea and that it just gets executed in a couple of weeks, but it's not actually as simple as that. So I just wanted to say, we appreciate all of our holders and the army that we do have behind us and the patience that they've had at this time. But as Shib and Dane have said, we've got heaps in the works, and these things are coming to fruition very soon. Our CERTIC audits are almost done, and then we'll be, launching on ETH as well. I think that's pretty much all I wanted to say. I just wanted to touch as well, as you can see recently, we've kind of ramped up some marketing in the background as well. Thanks to Dane, and also some new eyes that we have as well. We've managed to even triple our Twitter followers just in a matter of about a week as well. So this is just a bit of a glimpse of some of the things that you will see leading into the ETH launch. But yeah, I'll leave it at that. Thanks so much for having us, Trav, and thanks to the other projects as well.
I just wanted to chime in real quick and highlight one of the key features of SGX, our decentralized perpetual exchange that we are building. If you're wondering, what the benefits of the community will be of SGX, 25% minimum of the profits generated on that exchange will be going into our chart and into our liquidity of every chain that we are on. And also, one of the cool things about our bridge is we have the ability to add other chains. It's not going to be just limited to Ethereum. So you could maybe in the future see SquidGrow on other networks as well. So definitely very excited times. We're working tediously in the background. Shout out to the community, everybody that supported us from the beginning, everybody that continues. Trav, thank you for having us, all the other projects. Thank you for dedicating your time and sitting through our pitches and hearing us out and giving us feedback.
Thank you for coming on as well. It's always a pleasure to spend time with people that are putting the effort in and building the real products. Shout out to the SquidGrow community as well. You guys are absolute troopers. See you everywhere. It's really great to see that you do support good people that are building good products. It's always great to see you guys around. If you haven't already followed, make sure you join the Telegram of SquidGrow and follow them on Twitter.